Merry meet and welcome to Witchy Wednesday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube. Moderating today are the lovely Shirley, the lovely I Am Her Eminence, and the lovely Deline. Thank you so much, moderators. And thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Check out our website at arielscorner.com. arielscorner.com. You'll notice in the headers of each and every page there are links to our social media, including our private Facebook group and our Discord server. Both places are great to go if you need support or would like to be part of our community. If you have any questions about any of the courses that we offer that you're taking, those are great places to go. While you're there, also, you can notice that there's a donate link in the footer of those pages if you'd like to give a donation to this channel. Another way to donate is using our PayPal portal at paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga, or on YouTube you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks if you feel like giving a donation, and we do appreciate your support. Our shop is located at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We have all kinds of exclusive merchandise in there, such as t-shirts and mugs. There's a couple hoodies. So that's great. And then also in that shop, you'll notice on the main menu, there's a link to our Amazon storefront, which has different products that I use and that I recommend. We make a small commission off of each of those sales. And also there's a link to the cards of the Oracle of Asherah. So if you've downloaded my booklet, how to work the Oracle of Asherah, it gives you instructions on how to make your own Oracle stones. But if you don't feel like making those stones or you'd prefer a deck of cards, that's where you can find it. All right, let's see. We have a chat thread open, and if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat thread, and I will do my best to answer them. Today, we're going to do a general reading for all signs. We're not actually doing a talisman or anything, so I'm going to give a reading for all signs. Please don't ask for personal readings, because I'm not doing those, but that's what we have going on today. Let's see if I've forgotten anything. I can't think of it if I have, so let's get going with our reading. Today I'm reading with this Metanoia Marseille deck, and you can find this on Etsy, and I will put a link to it in the video description of this video. I also have a bunch of other decks that I use that are listed in our shop, arielscornershop.com as well. We don't need all these binder clips here. Let's just not. It's kind of ugly. It's better. All right, so let's just shuffle these cards up. I hope everybody's having a great season so far. I know there's a lot of awful stuff going on in the world. And sometimes we have survivor's guilt when awful things are happening in the world, where we feel guilty if we're having a good day or something good happens for us. And it's important not to do that, because this world needs every bit of happiness and joy we can muster. So if there's anything you're joyful about, you can express and feel that joy without reservation. I think just a few more shuffles ought to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and open this spread up all the way, since there's just one reading today and we're not doing any talismans or anything. It'll give us as full of a reading as I possibly can. Now, this is the general reading for all signs, and this is probably going to last you through the end of the year. Maybe I'll do another one of these at the beginning of the year. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's take a look here. Alrighty, starting out with the Sun card. That's not a bad place to start. Well, maybe I'll just put it there. There we go. Hanged Man. That man sure likes to hang. And then we've got this beautiful Knight of Coins. All right, so the Sun card is all about recognizing that there's a power that enables us to transform our lives, and I call it the solar light. And just working with that solar light is so simple, and it's so simple that many people don't do it because they think, well, this is fine if, people want to believe in it, but we need more than solar light, But I recommend, if you haven't done so already, just listen to my solar light meditation. It's really brief. It takes you just a couple minutes, and you'll learn how to do it all on your own. You won't need the recording. And just recognize that you can flood any situation with solar light. You can flood your life, your day, any situation with solar light. And things that seem unsolvable start to have solutions. Now, there's another aspect of this Sun card, and that's that the infinite's will for us is happiness. The infinite doesn't will awful things to happen. The infinite doesn't come up with awful things so that we learn lessons or that we're tested or any of that. That is all based on our own. All of the awful things that we go through here in this world is based upon our own individual and collective projections. And it's not the will of the Creator that those things happen. However, when those things happen, even when we double down on those things, the infinite always provides even more blessings than there are troubles to counteract it. Now, it's not that, it's like if there's a horrible tragedy, it's not that the tragedy disappears, but within the tragedy, there are blessings that appear. And so it's important to understand that it's up to us to search for those blessings and to lean into those blessings so that we can find the healing that we deserve. And also we can be a light of healing for those around us. So for instance, when there's when there's a horrible disaster and people lose their lives, that's not the will of the infinite. But when that happens, the infinite does provide blessings. So there are compassionate people, there are heroic encounters. There's all kinds of blessings that we can observe. So that's the Sun card here. Now here's this Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is always looking at things upside down. The Hanged Man always sees things the wrong way. And that's what the ego mind is based on, is seeing things upside down, seeing things that are not really there or that are completely the opposite of what we think they are. And when we live in an upside world, when something turns right side up, we want to reject it because it seems so wrong. And one of the main things that the Hanged Man represents is this idea that suffering is inevitable, or that we can suffer enough to be happy. We can suffer enough to have, to earn love. We can suffer enough to accomplish something. And that's the message of this Hanged Man, is that that's upside down thinking. And that it's up to us to ask for, because we aren't capable of doing it ourselves usually, because we're so stuck in the problem. But we ask for help. We ask for help from this higher power. And we ask that we see things differently. And when we start to see things differently, we allow things to be turned right side up for us so that we can see the truth. And so whenever we're going through problems, and we're going through tragedies, we're going through pain, we're going through difficulties, we can ask to see the truth instead of this. I want to see the truth instead of this, and allow our minds to stay open enough for the infinite to come in and turn things around so we can see things clearly. And then what comes out of all of that here is this help. The knights are always helpers. Think about in ancient days, the knights were definitely warriors. They were there to, to fight battles. But in times of peace, they weren't just out of a job. They were required to help. They had things to do within the kingdom to help out. And so the help that is coming your way is, it says here, financial help. But it's not just financial. It's anything within our resources. It can be the help of physical health. It can be the help with anything that's a physical asset, real estate, money, all of that. So that help is here and available to us, but it's very challenging, if not impossible, for us to receive that help while we're still looking at things upside down. And if you think about, for instance, have you ever been involved in a conversation where somebody is so distraught about something and you know exactly what they need? You know that there's going to be something that's going to help them, and you keep offering that, and they're so shut down that they say, no, I've already tried that. Nothing is ever going to work for me. I don't want to hear about that. That's how we are. That's what this hanged man is talking about, that it's very challenging for the help that is available to us to come in while we're so insistent that things are the way we say they are. And so the message of the hanged man today is to ask to see things differently and recognize that you want to be wrong about the situation, not right about the situation. All right, let's open everybody up here. Let's see, what is this? Oh, nice. All right. Oh, in the shot. There we go. I've done almost entire readings out of the shot before without looking, so I don't want to do that. All right. So this bottom left, I tend to call the keynote to your reading when I do the whole spread like this. And the keynote to the reading today is the Queen of Coins. That means the queens are nurturers, and it's asking us to nurture our prosperity. And remind yourself that prosperity doesn't only mean money. Prosperity means health, financial wealth, other kinds of wealth, peace of mind, self-expression. All of those things are prosperity. So whatever prosperity it is that we already have at least a little of, it's saying we need to nurture it. And there's so many different ways to nurture your prosperity, and it's going to be different for everybody. But just look at here at the outcome here. It's also a prosperity card. It's the Empress. So it's a clue that one of the ways that we're being asked to nurture our prosperity is through the power of our poise. She is a poised, serene character, and things just come to her. She doesn't get up out of her her throne to do anything other than what she wants to do. She doesn't go out and try to make stuff happen. She lets the stuff come to her. She'll get up out of the throne if she wants to take a walk. She'll get up out of the throne if she wants to maybe exercise a little bit or go do something fun. But she doesn't get up out of her throne to go make things happen for her. She lets things come to her because it's through the power of her poise and her serenity that she is magnetic to her good. And that's the lesson that we want. I do have a meditation on the Empress, all of these major arcana or trump cards. So for us today, that would be the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hanged Man, and the Sun card. So you can find meditations for any of those should you want to really open up into more of the power of what these things are saying. All right, so that's the sandwich here. So we've got the Empress and the Queen of Coins. So it's a prosperity reading. And again, prosperity meaning whatever that is for you, whatever good is for you, not necessarily only money. Okay, this is our inner bitch, the Queen of Swords. And I always call her my inner bitch. And she doesn't ever come to do something nice. She's not there to help. She is a self-destructive tendency. She's the tendency of the mind, the ego mind, to destroy itself. And I know that that's not common wisdom in the tarot, and that's fine. You can have your own meanings for the tarot, but in my readings and in my deck, the Queen of Swords represents that part of the mind that is trying to sow discord and trying to destroy good, trying to make sure that we don't enjoy our lives, that we don't succeed in our lives, all of those kinds of things. And this is something over here that is telling me that we're coming out of. We're not as allegiant to the Queen of Swords, it looks like, as we used to be. But still she's there. And it's important to understand how she works. She works through whisper campaigns. She's very subtle. She's very sly. I mean, she can come right out and be very, very loud, but only if she feels safe enough. But a lot of her work is done under the breath. So just notice what you say. Notice what you say about yourself, about other people. It's all the same to her. It's there to sow seeds of discord and chaos. So if you notice that you're always telling yourself things like, I'm so stupid, or why doesn't anything ever work out for me, or even something innocuous is, what was she thinking with that wig, or whatever. It's not that it's evil and that you should feel bad. It's just something to notice. And when you notice it, name it. I just name it Queen of Swords. Because as soon as you bust that tendency, it stops. The awareness of it is enough. So just noticing that Queen of Swords is active when she is usually all it takes to dispel that. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, here's a Venus card. So we've got a lot of Venus here. Venus, Venus, Venus. The sevens are Venus as upgrades, are Venus as turnaround, our luck turning from bad to good, whatever kind of understanding of turnaround and upgrade that means to you. And this is in regards to finances and assets. So it's a very, very good card. And there seems to be a lot of financial encouragement in this reading. And like I said before, if it's not finance, it's some other kind of asset. 3, 6, 7. Oh, no, this is 6. 3, 6. No, that's a 7. There's 3, 6, 7. So we've got 2 sevens in a row here. So we've got not only an upgrade in our assets, but we've got an upgrade in our spirituality. Now, sometimes when things are upgrading, it seems momentarily, it doesn't always seem, but it can seem like things are getting worse before they're getting better. But that's only because it's so different. And because we cling so to the old, even though we don't like it, it's something that's familiar. And so when things turn around and start to transform and change for the better, it can feel disheartening. So, but understand what it is. It's for your benefit. So things are working for your benefit, but we've got to be open-minded enough to allow those things to occur, because nothing happens without our consent. Okay, here's a 6. So there's another solar card, another solar light card, right on top of Mr. Pendu here, right on top of Mr. Hanged Man. So what this is saying is that the discord, strife, and upset that many of us have been going through, and that has been helped to stay alive by our own ego, is now it's ready for a complete transformation through the solar light. And we're being encouraged to use that solar light in whatever, even if that doesn't, maybe you don't like the meditation, or you don't like that concept of solar light, there's still some sort of higher power that many of us understand that has the power, all power, to heal and correct, no matter what. And it's saying that that's available to us, but it's really important that we invoke it, because it doesn't invoke itself. You always have the power to get your body in shape, but you have to do the exercise. You always have the power to learn a new skill, but you have to practice. The same thing goes with the solar light. It's there for you, but you have to invoke it. You have to draw it in. Okay, here we have a Jupiter card with this 4 of coins, more wealth. Jupiter is a wonderful, Jupiter, Venus, and the Sun are all wonderful cards, are all wonderful powers for wealth and prosperity. And here's another one. And so this specifically, the Jupiter of wealth, the Jupiter of cards, is talking about how it's important for us to have a solid infrastructure with whatever it is in our lives that we want to expand. So make sure you know what's going on with your money. Make sure your accounts are balanced. Make sure your files are filed. And this is in the realm of the coins, which is the realm of the physical. So it doesn't only have to do with money. It's wherever there's disorder in your physical universe, there's an opportunity for you to increase your wealth and your prosperity simply by putting it into order. Drawers, closets, cars, wherever the disorder is. You don't have to get crazy. You don't have to become obsessive about it, but just take one thing at a time. Just take one drawer, take one closet at a time and dedicate it. Do what I call household magic on it. Dedicate that thing to something that seems a little out of your control. Like, as I put this drawer in order, so do my finances find order. So is there perfect order in my finances, etc.? Another very prosperous card, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is always there for our benefit. A lot of people say, oh, whatever goes up, then comes down. And, a lot of people consider the Wheel of Fortune to be more like the fickle finger of fate. And it's not. It's a gyro. And wherever there's a wheel, there's a gyro. Wherever there's a gyro, wherever there's a wheel, there's the potential for a generator, for magnetism, for power. And it's saying that as this wheel spins faster and faster, so does your fortune. But the problem is that most of us don't understand that we're supposed to be on the platform here, or at the very least in the center of the wheel. Because if you're out on the edges of the wheel, look at these creatures. They're hanging on for dear life. They're not enjoying themselves. That it's just too volatile. But this creature up here on the top is fine, and that's where you want to be. As you allow yourself to be more centered and more focused and not so reactive to the things in the world, no matter what they appear to be, you're allowing the wheel to spin in such a way that it brings your good to you and generates more good for you without you being a mess because of how volatile it was. So it's a call to be more centered. And the more centered you are, the faster this wheel can spin. Because what happens is if it gets too volatile, we say, well, and we stop it. We shut things down. And that's understandable. But it's saying you don't need to shut things down. You don't need to slow down the pace of your fortune. If you are centered and calm and focused and practice some sort of centering or grounding meditation regularly, then that wheel can spin really fast and bring more and more and more good to you. Now, I love this card so much, this Valet de Coupe. That's the Page of Cups. And this is the card of good news. This is a good news card. And this is where we're headed. By the way, this block over here is where we're coming from. This is where we are, and this is where we're going. This is the road that we're going to. We don't use this so much to predict the future, but you can predict the future somewhat in the way that you could say, well, I see that person crossing the street, and I see the store right there. They're probably going to the store. And I bet that in a few moments, at least they'll be across the street. But they could change their mind and turn around. They could decide not to go to the store and to go somewhere else. So the future is not cast in stone, is my point. But based on where everybody seems to be headed, we're headed for good news. A lot of it. But so much of this good news has to come from within. And just like we were talking about with the Wheel of Fortune, if we're not calming ourselves every day, if we're not allowing ourselves that meditative process where we just sit and empty our minds and allow that inner guide to come through us, we'll never hear the good news that's there for us. And it's as if it's not there when we don't hear it. What good is good news if you don't hear it? So that's not to say that there won't be good news in the world. Of course, this is portending all of that. But the most important part of this is the good news that's available for you right now. And your inner guide always wants to bring that good news to you. But you have to be in the place to receive it. So this is a very lovely reading, surprisingly lovely. I was expecting all kinds of scariness because of what's going on in the world. But this is what we've got. The problem that I see is that many of us are going to be almost immune to all the good that is on our way because we aren't willing to turn our minds around. We're not willing to let that in. We're so focused on what we think we know and what we think is happening. And so much of that is because if we're not getting our data from the internet or the news or something like that, we don't want it. And it's saying that there's other data available for you. It's not that you can't listen to the news and watch, or the internet. Of course you can. But what you don't want to do is have your information at the expense of your inner guidance. And many of us are not choosing to listen to that inner guidance because we think we know how things are. And it's saying you don't. You don't. In fact, you know everything backwards. And until you're willing for that inner guide to show you the truth, you're going to continue keeping your good at bay. And so it's asking you to just not do that. It's asking you to spend a little time in meditation. It's asking you to consider working with the solar light, either through one of my meditations or whatever other way you get that connection to your higher power, to not let the Queen of Swords have, reign and run amok, to be open to the good news, to recognize that your prosperity comes through poise and it's there for you, waiting to enter. And that poise is talked about here and here, both in the Wheel of Fortune card and the Empress card. There is ample opportunity for you to get things in order in the physical world and to leverage the power of getting things in order in the physical world to have an effect on things that are larger than whatever it is that you're putting in order. So it may look like you're just doing that closet, but it's a lot bigger than your closet. And that this turnaround that the universe wants to give may feel scary at first, but it's worth going through the fear and doing it anyway, because what's on the other side of it is so much good news. And we could use some good news. All right, well, that's about it for this reading for all signs. I hope this was enjoyable for you. And until next time, blessed be. Oh, let's see if we have a question here. Nope, we don't. All right, well, thank you very much. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Shirley, I Am Her Eminence, and Delene. And we will see everybody tomorrow for Thrilling Thursday. And just as a reminder, we are not here on December 25th or January 1st. All right, talk to you again. Blessed be.